Yes. And I want to let everybody know that we are recording. I just got that started. And hold on one second here and I'll get the video for everybody.
And just so everyone knows that the Alexa for Everyone team created the show and tell feature that we're going to be focusing on today, and Vista helped to partake in
a house.
I am totally blind. It's been 8 years this December. I went through every single room and reorganized it so that I knew where every single thing was, because in my house, I was not going to feel blind. Alexa, what am I holding?
It looks like Tea Forte World of Teas.
But when you have other people in the household, things get moved all the time.
At Vista Center.
Hi, Brett.
Hi, Stacy.
Ready to go?
I guess so.
All right, let's go test it out.
Okay.
Stacy Grijalva.
My job is to help people with visual impairments and to see how technology can affect people's lives and make them feel better about what they do on a day-to-day basis.
Brett Fowler.
I lost my vision when I was 10 years old. I'm a stay-at-home dad, and I do a lot of cooking. And there's a lot of things I can't see.
The whole idea for show and tell came about from customer feedback, actually. Challenges around identifying things in their pantry.
A can of food.
And we thought, yeah, we can do this. We can help here.
Sarah Kaplaner.
I'm going to give you a product, and then you're going to say,
Alexa, what am I holding?
Let's see.
Brett holds up a box.
It looks like 365 everyday value. Macaroni.
Great. That's awesome.
He holds a jar.
I think that's garlic powder.
Wow. That's impressive.
It's critical for us that we're working with our customers, building with them, not just building for them.
they really need our feedback to tell them what we need.
You'll hear sounds to help you position your item.
Holly Clark moves a can.
It looks like organic canned pineapple.
Whoa, is that what it is? Oh my gosh.
All these devices that are acting as your eyes, I think it's very revolutionary. For me, the less stress I have to put on somebody else is less stress on me.
Brett smiles.
And it makes me feel good.
The Amazon logo.
Yay. So I missed a step there, you guys. I was going to introduce the panel to you and I didn't. So I'm going to do that now and then our guest speaker. So you guys met Bob. He is one of our panelists and tech specialists as well. There's myself, and then we have Bevy. You want to go next?
Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okie dokie. Hi, my name is Beverly. My friends call me Bevy, and I am a staff volunteer for Santa Cruz Vista Center, and I volunteer in the tech department. Anything that's asked of me, you know, we have several different things that we teach, and it's always a whole lot of fun. I'll be happy when we can return back to our office. And I also facilitate a peer counseling group. And then when we get to go back to our office, teach beginning Braille, and we have a game time once a month where we get together and play games at the center. So I'm happy to have each and every one of you here. I'm glad that you joined us.
Ernie?
My name is Ernie Molina. I'm an accessibility technology specialist from the San Jose Vista branch. And I teach people how to use several technologies. Be aware that on the third Friday of every month, we have a similar meeting like this. I call it the apple pie presentation meeting. It usually runs an hour or two, depending on what I got to cover. So thank you for coming and hope to see you on the third Friday of this month.
Is Sun here?
I don't see his name on the list.
Okay, so our other tech specialist from Palo Alto is Sun Kim, and he might not have been able to make the meeting today. Also, there is John Glass, which is the director of technology for all three locations, and he also had a prior commitment. And also Patrice McGinnis, who is our new director in Santa Cruz, is also a very excellent tech specialist. She's on the call, but she's not participating in the panel unless she feels like she wants to put something in. So those are our tech specialists from the 3 Vista Centers. And now we want to move into David. David is an engineer from Amazon who's part of the Alexa for Everyone team. And David, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us more about the show and tell?
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you so much for having me here. As Stacy said, my name is David Frericks. Based in Silicon Valley, do work typically over in Santa Cruz, even though that we're not doing that lately. And it's because of that physical proximity that we've been able to develop a great relationship with the Vista Center, specifically to understand the needs of people who are blind and have low vision. And when we look at that, our team, which, as was mentioned, is Alexa for Everyone. You saw our old manager, Sarah, who was in that last video. She was introducing our work. Our goal is twofold. One is that we actually have already a number of great capabilities that are, let's call them even inherent to the nature of Alexa itself, that helps people to be able to interact with their world in a way, even if they have vision challenges. So if you're thinking about just the whole nature of voice interactivity as a way of getting information that you might want to have, or controlling your home through smart home controls and things like this, these are all kind of inherently built into the fact that Alexa is a voice agent first and foremost. And so that's our first charter, is to make sure that, number one, we're educating the community about the capabilities that are based into the Alexa system inherently. And then also we work with folks in the community, and Stacy mentioned that we specifically worked with the Vista Center to create, for example, the show and tell feature, to identify places where we can enhance the experience to address very specific needs. If you think about the philosophies we have at Amazon with regards to creating products and creating features, one of the core things that we always work with is the idea of customer obsession. And that is a shorthand term that lets us think about, first and foremost, what are the needs of one specific customer? Let's not try to create an idealized customer or some vague notion of a customer. Let's start with the needs of a specific person that we've identified, and then work backwards from that point to then solve the needs of that person to enhance our products and to make them better. And that's where this feature that the panel is going to talk about, show and tell, came from. Ironically, show and tell is a feature, maybe you'll find it ironic, quite honestly I do, that we have a feature that is dedicated for the community that is based only on screen-based devices. And so because these devices not only have a screen, but they also have a camera, that gives them a unique ability to not only present visual information, but to perceive the world optically. And through that, we can then map those inputs into our Alexa system using our artificial intelligence capabilities to then solve a specific need. In this case, the need is, I have a lot of grocery items or other kind of household items in my home, and those household items all may have a similar physical packaging. So it would be challenging to identify them by another technique like touch or something like this. And as was mentioned in the video, sometimes things can get moved around, and so that can also create a challenge. What we've been able to do with this show and tell capability is that because these Echo Show devices have built-in cameras, you can actually hold the product up and there's audio cue guidance so that you can align the product so that the device can see it correctly. And then if you ask what it is, the device will then tell you, oh, it's this kind of tea, and potentially you can even add it to a shopping cart and then go ahead and buy it later. So this is a way of actually solving a very specific need based on our understanding that we gained of what customer challenges are through our cooperation with the Vista Center, and we've been very, very pleased to do that. Some other things that that may be of interest to folks here on the call is that one of the other, I mentioned at the beginning, one of our charters within the Alexa for Everyone team has been to educate the community on what are some of the inherent capabilities of Alexa that can help day-to-day living. And so in that vein, we've actually launched a new website, a new microsite. It's amazon.com/Alexa accessibility. And if you go to that site, amazon.com/Alexa accessibility, you will actually go to a landing page, and one of those areas are how we handle issues with regards to accessibility and vision. And so, of course, we talk about the show and tell, which is one of our pride and joy features, but we also talk about the fact that we have screen magnification built in for low vision customers, the ability of Alexa to be able to track your orders and understand what's happening in your shipments audibly just by asking. One of the most powerful things, in my view, that Alexa brings to the table is the idea of voice-based communication. And I know that this is not something that's necessarily unique. We can all use our iPhones to have Siri make a phone call for us and make that connection, and that's really great. But you have in the Alexa environment a voice-first methodology to actually initiate phone calls and connect with loved ones. And you also can configure those, and this is my personal favorite feature because I use this with my mother, is that you can actually have a proactive ability to do what's called drop-in for trusted contacts. So my mother, as I'm glad to hear, trusts me enough that she's configured her Echo Show to let me drop in on her kitchen anytime I like. So I can just say, Alexa, drop in on Mom's kitchen, and it will connect into her kitchen and automatically initiate the call without her needing to ever pick up. And many times she'll be out doing something else somewhere else in the house, and I can call out her name, and even though she lives in Illinois and I live in California, we now suddenly have a portal that is a seamless communication between the two of us. And to me, that's something that, you know, it's a simple little twist, right? We've had phone calls, we've had audio, voice activated phone calls, but to go that one extra step and to allow a trusted contact to just drop into your kitchen at any moment, that's something that really creates a feeling of intimacy and comfort that is, it's really, really a nice surprise on that front. And of course, going beyond that, you can have Alexa search for recipes. You can have Alexa read your ebooks from your Kindle, control your smart devices, control temperature, or even if you're using an Alexa controlled microwave, you can actually go ahead and have help cooking your food and setting timers, because as we might know that sometimes knowing what exactly that microwave oven is saying in terms of the timing that's there might be a bit hard to suss out. So these are some ways that we have been able to focus the energies of the artificial intelligence that powers Alexa to be able to help out customers who are blind and low vision. And so that's kind of my introduction. I appreciate the opportunity to share a little bit about what we've been able to do. I think the main takeaway here is that everything that I've talked about is available at amazon.com/Alexa accessibility. So if you go to that URL, everything I mentioned is available right there, and you can read about it at your leisure. There's some videos we have there, and you can check it out and learn for yourself some of the things that are possible. To me, I have been spending my whole career, as was mentioned, I am a solutions engineer at Amazon, but I've been spending my whole career trying to bend machines to serve the needs of human beings. And so I think we're finally at a cusp where the machines are able to respond to people in a way that is more people friendly, as opposed to us having to learn the arcane, option Y to raise your hand and all that kind of stuff that we heard at the beginning of this call, right? The more we can actually make the machines adapt to us, to me, that's where people truly become empowered. And it really is all about making it so that we can have richer, fuller lives and just basically get the stuff done that we want to get done and not have to worry about learning some arcane mechanism to do that. So I appreciate this opportunity. I'm looking forward to hearing the panel and also to participate in the discussion as it goes forward. So thank you very much.
Thank you, David. So what I want to open the discussion up with right now is questions, if anybody has questions on the show and tell feature. Let's start out with show and tell. So if someone has a question, would you like to raise your hand and we can take your question?
We've got several people with their hands up right now. So let me take a look here. So I might get you out of order, and I apologize. It looks like Abby had her hand up first. So Abby, if you would unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
Actually, it had to do before the meeting started. It's not appropriate anymore, but so the show and tell, will it read the ingredients? Will it tell you the all the information on an object? David?
Actually, no, it does not at this point. What it does is, and I'll be perfectly honest, there are some things you'll hold up and it won't do that good of a job for. But what its goal is to primarily map household items, focusing on grocery type items that will give you an identification of what it is, but it doesn't do label reading.
So is there a possibility that in the future it would be more refined, or is that not a goal that Amazon has?
So we're always working to enhance our products. I can't comment at all about what we may or may not be adding to a particular capability, but we're always working to make things better and to improve them. So that's the best way to think about that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the next person has a 408 area code and looks like the last 3 digits, and I can't see very well here, but it looks like 7851 is the last 4 digits. Do you have a question? If you can unmute yourself. Someone with a phone number 408, and then it ends in last 3 digits are 851. Looks like 44851, last 4 digits.
That's me, Bob Farhang. That's
okay.
me, Farhang.
Alrighty, do you have a question?
Yes, Bob. David, where do I go to learn about this accessibility features of Alexa? And do we need to have a computer for the Alexa to see it, or some sort of a screen?
So I'll answer your first question, which is where can you go to find out more information about how Alexa addresses accessibility needs? This is the new web property that we just launched. We actually released it to be coincident with the 30th anniversary of the ADA. And that is at amazon.com/Alexa accessibility. You can capitalize that any way you like, and it will go to that place. And on that web page, you'll see the option of picking between vision, hearing, mobility, and speech. And you can pick one of those topics, and it will guide you through the different features that we have. And then the second question is, do you need a computer to use an Echo or an Echo Show? the answer to that is no. But you do typically need to have a smartphone to set up an Echo product. So that is something that is necessary, although you can do a setup of an Echo Show without a smart home product because it has on-screen configuration. However, you do need to have a phone. If you want to make the calling stuff happen, we do require that you authenticate using an actual phone number. So the short answer is the best case is that you have a smartphone, and then you can get an Echo or an Echo Show, and that will let you set it up.
Okay, I do have a smartphone and I do have Alexa. So it's the Dot. It's not the big Echo. So it doesn't work on Dot.
So the show and tell feature requires a camera, and it requires a camera that works on what's called our Echo Show 10, which is our 10-inch larger product. We have one on the Echo Show 5, which is our smaller, least expensive visual screen-based product, or our Echo Show 8. There are no cameras on the Echo Dot. So I'm sorry to say that it does not work on that because the device would need a camera in order to work with the show and tell feature.
So can you tell us what is the price range from Echo 5 to Echo 10?
I haven't memorized those, and they go on sale often at Amazon.com. You can check out the latest prices on those. If you just search for Echo Show, you can see what that information is in there. And those prices, many times we do promotions, and you can get good deals on those. But I don't have the actual prices of those memorized. I'm sorry.
Okay. Thank you, David. Thank you very much, David.
Looks
also,
go ahead, Stacy.
I'm sorry. Just so everybody knows that all 3 locations at Vista Center are available for training. And if you want one-on-one virtual training, we can all help you to figure out the type of device that would be suited for you and get you set up and help you figure it out. So we are here and available for one-on-one training for anyone who needs it. Just call one of our centers and ask for the tech department, and we will get in contact with you.
Okay, thank you.
Looks like the next person with a question is Deborah Armstrong. Deborah, if you could unmute yourself.
This is Debbie Armstrong. You should be able to hear me. I've used lots of those iPhone apps to identify barcodes in my kitchen, and I spend like a half hour rotating the can, rotating the phone, trying to line everything up. How is this better?
Can I show you?
Yes.
I'm standing in my kitchen currently, and this is Stacy. And I took a couple things out of the cabinet, and I'm just going to show you really quick how much easier it is. So I'm going to start. Alexa.
Stacy, your camera isn't on.
No, I just have a picture. So you can't watch me. You're just going to have to hear me.
Ah, okay.
Alexa, what am I holding?
Let's see. There isn't enough light. Check that your lights are turned on and that the camera is unblocked. It looks like Nilla reduced fat wafers.
Vanilla wafers. And I'm going to show you now. I have a jar. And this works for me because sometimes you might have spaghetti sauce, or you might have a different, like a white sauce, and you don't know which is which. And so that's what I like to use this for. Alexa, what am I holding?
Let's see. Make sure that your hands aren't covering the front of the item.
Yes.
It looks like a Kool-Aid product. I read the following words: S, Nutrity, Nutrition, Facts, Facty, Nutrition, Classico.
Well, it's Classico. It's not a fruit drink. So let's try it one more time. Alexa, what am I holding?
Let's see. Show me another side. Show me another side.
I'm just like my husband. Turn it around. I can't see it.
I read the following words: Romano, Asiago, Classico.
Okay.
It's doing OCR, not barcode recognition.
Correct. It's just, it's not barcode. That's why it doesn't give you all the ingredients.
Well,
Yeah, and
they
it's
can
not
use
only
direct-
OCR, it's actually doing a full image as well.
Wow, they should use directions for me. Then they could have the directions too. Does David know about directions for me? I'll go back on mute now.
I'm not aware of that one, no.
Directionsforme.com. Go there. Link it up with this and you'll have something perfect.
David or Stacy, could you explain? We could hear the Echo Show making beeping sounds and different sounds as you were holding the product. I know what that is because I've done it myself before, but could you explain what those tones are telling you?
Sure, David, you want to do that?
Yeah, although it's so yeah, I'll give you the high level, and I'll actually rely on you to tell me about your opinion of its effectiveness. So the what you're hearing is a set of tones that are giving you cues to make sure that you're placing the product within the view of the camera. And so we actually have some of our own researchers who, when this first product was being created, they're looking at it and they were like, hey, this was really hard to get it going. And they zoomed in on the idea of, oh, wow, hey, if we put these tones on either side and give you a cue of where it is in the field of view, that's going to let you line it up better. So that's what you're hearing within that. And then, of course, you hear the video game like, ding, like I found it, hey. And then that's giving you the idea that it knows what it is now. Stacy, do you want to comment about that more?
Yeah, so when you hear it, when it's in its view, I'm going to do it again so you guys can hear the different sounds. But when it's in its view, it's making that noise. Alexa, what am I holding?
Let's see.
So right now, it's making
enough light.
Okay,
Check
so
that your lights are turned on and that the camera is unblocked.
the blink, the beeping sound is that it's there. It just hasn't found. But if it stops beeping, then you know you're not in the range. So I moved it away and it stopped beeping. I put it in front and it found it.
It looks like a Nilla product. I read the following words.
So it guides you by sound. Alexa, off. So it guides you by sound. It's really good.
So looks like the next person with a question is Richard. Richard, can you unmute yourself and ask your question?
Hi, good afternoon. I don't have a question about the show, but would you at one point explain what Vista Center is? Because I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I'm not familiar. Please, thank you. And I'm going to go and mute.
Hi, this is Patrice.
Zoom on this new window.
And the Vista Center for the Blind and Visually Impaired is a full-service center for anyone who is experiencing sight loss. And we have everything from what you're experiencing right now, which is assistive technology, to orientation and mobility, a strong support system, both mentor and led by social workers. We have adaptive living skills. We have low vision, a clinic, so that when you can't be helped anymore by a regular physician, we have specialists who can help you with lenses for your glasses with less glare, or lighting in your home that works better. So we are there for you wherever you are in your journey, and we want to help. And There are 3 locations, as Bob and Stacy mentioned, and they're in Palo Alto, San Jose, and Santa Cruz.
Thank you.
And with things going virtual, no matter where you are in the country, if we can help via virtual, we will definitely give you service.
Absolutely. Thanks, Stacy.
Okay, Ashley, looks like you're the next person with a question.
Hi guys. I guess you're referring to me. I hope I'm the only Ashley on this call.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, hi guys. Well, actually I had the same question as Richard, but you all just answered that for what the Vista Center is. Are you guys like, I guess I'm wondering toward that end, are you guys like a nonprofit and privately, like a private center, or is this like a state center?
Yes, we are a nonprofit entity, and we survive by donations, and also,
good.
Yeah, and also our own revenue.
Oh, okay. Thanks for clarifying, Patrice, and I guess Stacy, who you guys are. Sounds like a great place. Anyway, my next few questions in regard to the Echo show. And by the way, I'm from Virginia, so it's nice to know that we have people from other states like Pennsylvania here. Virtual is amazing to get us together as a country. Anyways, so my questions. Number 1 is the Echo show, does it recognize grocery products, like bigger products that you'd put in your fridge, such as like milk and cheese, and also freezer products, or are those in the able to be OCR'd? And secondly, does it tell you any more information, such as like the expiration date? Because that's always a challenge for me to remember all my groceries. And I guess my third question is, does the Echo show products, I guess there are 3 of them, is that right? You mentioned, do the Echo shows identify other things, or can you load other apps for the camera to identify things like text or money or clothing colors, things of that nature?
David?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and take that one. So the short answer is that we are focused on this release of show and tell on dry grocery goods. So things that have labels that you could be able to identify that way. So it's not like an arbitrary, hey, I'm holding up a thing of milk, right? It's not that general. And similarly speaking, as I mentioned earlier, it's not reading the details. So it would, if it reads, unless Stacy, you're aware of this, I wasn't, it doesn't read the expiration date unless it gets it by accident as part of its OCR flow. But typically those are stamped in a way that would be hard for it to see. So it doesn't really focus on that. With regards to other other recognition, we don't have side loading or any other kind of apps on the show. So no, this is very focused on one specific need, which is focusing on dry goods.
Okay. Oh, okay. Thank you. That's a good start. And a follow-up thing, can I ask? I am unclear on the difference between the 3 products you mentioned. You mentioned an Echo show. I think it was 5, 8, and 10, but I don't know what it means. And I've only seen one Echo show, which I think is the 10-inch. So that's my knowledge extent.
Yeah, so what we have, so basically Echo show means it's an Echo product that has a screen and a camera. And with voice, right? They all have voice input, yes. They all have speaker. And they are, the differences are basically in how big is the screen. That's really the differences on it. So if you just wanted a basic capability, you could get what's called a 5. That would be your least expensive. If you get an 8, that's really kind of the sweet spot that most people go for. And that's going to be the medium one, and then we have the larger one. But they all have the same feature set that is different size screens.
Different sizes, that's the main. Does the number refer to the size then?
Yeah, so 5-inch, 8-inch, yeah.
So like an 8 is the 8-inch.
Correct, yes.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. I hope that you guys at some point add more, I guess, enhancements to that feature. It's a great start, show and tell, so we can know more about the product we're holding.
Thank you, Ashley, for that question.
Thank you.
Ernie, did you want to say something? It looks like your hand's up.
Thank you.
Yeah, David just answered it. I belong to about 2 or 3 email groups that discusses Amazon products, and we have been having a debate for a long time. I know that the 10-inch works with a show and tell because I have a 10-inch. I know that the 5-inch works because I have a 5-inch. Now, I haven't gotten an 8, but we've been saying, no, the 8 does not have show and tell. Yes, it does. No, it doesn't. Yes, it does. But David just answered the question, yes, it does. Okay. And then I want to make sure that we're here for the show and tell, but be aware that the shows can also, you can ask it to play music. You can ask it to listen to a podcast. You can, anything you can ask an Alexa unit to do, the shows will do it too. But it also does a show and tell. And you can even watch movies with it. Thank you.
And one other point to that might be useful to add is that it also has a screen reader capability. So because you can get information visually presented on the device, you can turn on a screen reader and it will actually read what's on the screen for you. That's in addition to, of course, whatever Alexa says inherently, which in the case of a show, the basics are going to be said by voice, but then there might be additional information on the screen, and that's where the screen reader capability becomes important.
Okay, thank you, David. Looks like Andrea Wolper has a question. Andrea, if you could unmute yourself.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes, hi. Yes, thank you so much. This is really interesting. David, I'm primarily interested, the thing that really caught my attention was the idea that you can talk to your mother, because I'm here for my mother, who's 91 and visually impaired and not very techie at all. She has, I think maybe this question was just answered, I'm not sure, one of my questions. She has an Amazon Fire that she uses. She talks to Alexa to run her TV. She has an Amazon Echo to listen to her Audible books. But the idea that I could actually, I'm in Brooklyn, New York, she's in the Bay Area, that I could actually talk to her face to face, as it were, is fantastic. Could this, it sounds like maybe this could also replace her Echo so she could listen to her Audible books through it? Yes? I see
Yeah,
nodding
so
your head.
everything you can do on an Echo Dot or a regular Echo, well, I'll be careful, not always everything, but pretty darn close. Everything you do with your voice on an Echo Dot or regular Echo, you can do with an Echo Show.
Okay.
And then you get the additional capability of video calling and video drop-in. Now, let me be clear, you can still enable that drop-in feature audio-wise if she only has the audio capability. So you could enable that drop-in, and you could say drop-in on mom, and it will connect to her Echo, and then you'll have an audio drop-in as opposed to an audio-visual drop-in.
But I would need an Echo for that as well, right? Or something. I don't have any.
At the very least, you need to have the mobile app, the Alexa mobile app on your phone.
I do. I have for her account. Yeah.
So there you go. So actually, it's even in that sense, it's even easier because technically you're both the same person. In that case, if you just open, because you already have drop-in capability for yourself.
I don't know. Okay.
If you opened up the app that controls her phone, you could just say, and whatever the name of that device is, you can just tap the button on the phone on your mobile app, and then say, you know, drop in on mom's kitchen, for example. And boom, you'll be connected audio-wise right there,
So
automatically.
wherever where her echo, whatever it is where I should say to drop in, whatever room.
Yeah,
it's
the
in.
name of that device that you've
Okay.
given it in her app, that's what you would
Okay.
do.
So this is really, I'm just wondering, I know that the folks at Vista are wonderful about helping people get things set up. But now, of course, with you know, shelter in place, it makes it much harder. And so I'm wondering for people who maybe are not, you know, how can you get it set up if you can't see or aren't already using technology to help? I know some people are great with using, you know, people who have no vision at all are great with using technology, but for people who aren't, how would they even get it set up? Especially if you can't have people come over and set things up for you.
Well, I'll answer it from a remote setup perspective, and then I'll rely on Stacy to answer it from like an assistive perspective. So we have published, and I can share this actually with Bob and Stacy after the call. We've actually created a set of instructions that if you want to set up, and so if you're a sighted person and you want to set up an Echo device for another person, we have instructions on how to do that, and then you can basically you set it up and you send it to them, right? And so we have some good instructions on how to do that. We did that actually as a response to COVID. One of my other things that I've been doing is I actually was head of the Alexa COVID-19 task force, where we had to go ahead and shape Alexa's response over time. And one of the key things we learned was exactly what you said, Andrea, which is how are you going to set up a device for somebody when you can't go see them? And so that was something that we, at the very least, we figured, okay, let's create some clear instructions on how to do that. So we have that URL, and I'll share it with Bob and Stacy after the call, so that they can share it around. And then, Stacy, did you want to talk about any the other kind of like if you're not a sighted person, you know, how that setup would work?
Sure. So
Stacy, excuse me just a second. If there's some extra background noise coming in, if it's not Stacy or David, could everybody else please mute yourselves so we don't hear all the background kitchen noises going on? Thank you.
So I do have those instructions, David. I actually ran across them about a month ago because I did get a call from someone that had a mother that lived somewhere else and was asking, and I researched it. So I have those instructions. So perfect. We can send them out to anybody. The other way is if you have a family member in the Bay Area, we might, depending on where we are with COVID, there are some people who would be willing to still go in home and help out if it's a quick fix, that we might be able to do something like that. Patrice, do you want to chime in there? Because I know that Sharon has still gone out. There are a couple of people. So if you are in a pinch in that way and your loved one lives in the Bay Area, we might be able to help.
Thank you both. I'm going to mute, but I just want to say thank you.
Okay.
Sabrina Brooke, you have a question?
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so my two questions. So the first question was, is there a way to, when you get to the accessibility for the, like the voice assistant, is there a way to turn it off other than going into the accessibility menu itself and doing it manually?
I think you can ask Alexa and she'll turn it on and off for you.
That doesn't work.
Huh.
Well, can you be more specific about what you're trying to do that's not working?
Okay, so you have to go into the accessibility option and turn on voice assistant, And to go to turn it off, you have to go right back into the settings and then the accessibility, and then do the voice thing, go to the voice assistance and turn it off. What I'm asking is there a way to do it without having to go through those extra steps?
Are you talking about screen reader or what?
Yes, the screen reader, I'm sorry.
The voice view reader.
The voice view, sorry.
That is, so okay. In Amazon, we have this thing called earns trust. And part of that philosophy is recognizing our own weaknesses. And so what I'll say to you is that there actually is a voice command that will work. It's just that it's clearly not the one you're trying to use. You can actually turn on and off voice view screen reader with your voice. And so let me see what it is here. I'm going to look it up. You say, Alexa, turn off voice view, or Alexa, turn on voice view. If you say those words, it will turn it on and off. But I bet you're probably not saying those words, and sometimes natural language isn't so natural. And I apologize for that right away.
Okay.
I'd be curious, Sabrina, do you remember what you were trying to say that didn't work?
No, not really.
That's cool. I was hoping you might, but yeah, forgive us. It should be more flexible than that. But
so I should just be like, echo turn on voice view, echo turn off voice view.
That should work.
Okay.
And don't forget you can use the 2 fingers to touch on the screen to do it also. That may help with.
Okay. And my second question was is there, I know on the 5, there's like a button that slides for the camera. I've noticed that with the 10, there is not a slider for the camera. So would I have to go into settings to turn the camera on and off manually as well? Or is there a voice command for that too?
I'm not aware of a voice command for that, but what we do is if you turn the mute button on the top, I know it's mute, it's saying mute in the wrong way, but it's what it's called. It disables both the camera and the microphone.
So the button on the top should do that.
Correct, yes. It's not the hard slider like you have on the 5, but it's still the button.
But it only says, it only looks like it's like muting the microphone. It doesn't look like it's doing the camera.
It's doing, unless I'm missing something, and I'll leave myself a little wiggle room, but I am 98% sure it's also turning off the camera.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you for that, Sabrina. Douglas Hunsinger, looks like you have a question. Go ahead.
Yes, I just bought an Echo Show 8, and I'm not having the same kind of success that Stacy was having scanning products. So, Stacy, I'm wondering if you can give me some tips on how I might hold things or position them better, and I'll mute and listen. Thank you.
Okay. So the way that we were taught by the team to position is a foot away and a foot up. So if you feel in the middle of your show on the top, there's a little slit there, very slightly, that is the camera. If you put whatever you're wanting to scan in the middle of that, a foot away from the echo and a foot up. So it should get it in that general area. That's the best way I could verbally explain it to you.
Douglas, are you saying that you're having challenges getting it aligned so it sees it at all? Or are you saying that when it gives the little da-da-da sound that it gets it wrong? Those are two important differences about what your challenge is.
99% of the time, I don't get the da-da-ding sound. It eventually gives up.
Okay. Yeah. So then, yeah, it's the placement of a foot out and a foot up that's going to be important. And then also sometimes making sure that you're not obscuring the front of it, you know, keeping in mind that the camera's on the device and it's trying to see whatever the label is. So sometimes it'll ask you to rotate it, and definitely it'll, you know, you might be obscuring it somehow as well, but having it far enough away but not too far is going to be the important point there.
Great. Thank you very much.
It looks like Deb, you have a question. Go ahead.
Hi, this is Noel and Deb Runyon. I have two questions. One is that I have heard and read that Amazon has a pre-configuration ability for products because of coronavirus and to help people out. Does that pre-configuration, where when you're ordering a new unit, you ask for a configuration and setup, does that apply to the show?
I'll have to admit that I'm not up to date on exactly which products that works for. One of the things that would be required is that you would have your Wi-Fi credentials stored in what's called our, you know, the Wi-Fi locker. So of course it can do that programming. And then of course making sure that it's going to your account. Both of those things, as far as I'm aware, should work on any Echo product. But that would be apparent as an option during checkout. So if it's not available at your option during checkout, then it means it's not available for that product. And I am sorry to say I don't know which products are enabled with that or not. But if it's available, you would see it as an option during, or it would be available to you as an option during checkout.
Okay, thank you. And the other question was, if I ask my regular Echo devices for information about the Amazon accessibility or the Echo Show, for example, it will give me, in that case, a definition of the Echo Show, but it would be nice if you had the capability for it to go to the website and read that, the rest of that information that you say you've now got posted up on the website. And I'm going to mute off now.
You are giving a very wonderful piece of guidance. Thank you.
Bob, do we have a lot more questions?
Looks like we've got 3 more. So Jackie,
Okay,
Jackie, you're next.
Hi there. Hi, everyone. Okay, so here's my question. I have an Echo and I have 2 Dots, and I absolutely love each and every one of them. However, through a quirky thing that happened here at the house and having to change our Wi-Fi passcode, all the Alexas, all 3 of them, got kicked out of the network. And reattaching them has been complicated to the point where I'm ready to call Ernie and cry, but they are not connected at this moment. They keep saying can't find the network, and I'm at a loss. So that's question number 1. Question number 2 is, I've had my Echo and the 2 Dots for quite a while, and without the new one, the one with the camera, are there different generations that have been birthed that are without the camera, and why would they be better?
With regards to the first thing that you've expressed, I agree with you that changing Wi-Fi on what we call headless or screenless devices is far more challenging than it should be. There's a process that you work through with regards to the mobile app, and it can, basically your best bet at that point is to de-authenticate the device and reset it using the factory reset and bring it on as if it was new. That would probably be your best, simplest approach, is, you know, do the factory reset, which is different based on the model that you have, and so the instructions for that would be on our website. But if you do the factory reset, it'll pretend it's in the beginning, and then you add the Wi-Fi as you did the first time you did it. That's going to be probably your best approach on that, just to be clean and not try to have any machinations.
And that would that be through the app?
Yeah, so the first thing you do, the actual factory reset happens by holding down a specific button combination on the device itself. So that's what puts it in, what we call configuration mode. And so that's the first thing. And then you go into the app and then you add those devices. If you want to be really clean about it, the first thing you do is you delete the device from your account in the app. Then you do a factory reset. Then you re-add them as if they were brand new. I know that sounds cumbersome, and there probably are shortcuts, but as we know with shortcuts, sometimes that can create more challenges than they solve. So
right. I'd rather do it clean and get it all done. Okay, thank you.
That'd be your best bet. And then with regards to products over time, we are releasing new Echo and Echo shows all the time. And so it depends on what generation and version you have. I have ones in my home. I probably have, at this point, 23 Echo devices in my home.
Oh my.
Most of them are active.
Multiplying like rabbits.
Yeah, they are. I have like an old Echo Show here on my desk next to me, which is the original one. And then I have like an old Echo Tower over there on the side. Anyway, the point is they're constantly evolving, and which one you choose is based on what your desire is. There are super high-end ones that are for audio only, which is like an Echo Studio, which sound amazing. That's the one thing we haven't really talked about, is that if you get an Echo Studio, with Amazon Music, we now have a 3D music capability, audio 3D music. And the immersion that comes from having an Echo Studio and then having that 3D audio, I don't know, I would imagine that would be something that would be like super, super compelling. It's like Atmos, but without the expense, right? It's really, really pretty cool. But if you want to have a show and tell, then you'd want to get something that has a screen on it. And as we mentioned, all the ones that you can get have that capability on that today. And you buy the one based on your particular need. Or if you just want something in the middle, like a little device that you can talk to next to your bedside, we have a couple options there. We've got a little dot that now has a clock on the side for a clock display. We've got regular dots. We've got short cans. They're all sorts of devices that, depending on your particular need, what you might want to buy.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we're going to have one last question here because then there's 5 people that seem like they have follow-up questions. But let's take this next question and then we're going to need to move on here. So the next question, the person has a 408 area code and the last 4 digits is 2796.
Yeah, right here. So I've got 2 quick questions and then a bigger follow-up one. And I don't want to own 23 because I don't want to be as cool as you. But
it's an addiction. It's not coolness. It's an addiction.
Well, we don't have time for it, but I have addictions and things that too much of stuff. So I don't want to keep my hoarding going. One of the questions, because I'm new to all of this, but with the wireless, is it wireless? Are you carrying it from room to room? The show and tell 10 or something?
Oh, it's a device that is definitely sitting on a countertop. And so it's like you put it in your kitchen or you put it somewhere where you can use it and go to it on a regular basis. It's not something it uses wireless network, right? So you don't have to plug it in like old school Ethernet, but it's plugged into the wall and it sits in a stable spot.
Okay. And then speaker wise, you just started answering the question in reference to studio, but when you're looking at this for a speaker, like to listen to a ball game or something like that, is that a higher quality than a Dot or Echo or these other ones? Is the speaker quality higher than the others? As compared to, go ahead.
So it really depends on personal preference, and what you're looking for. Even a small Echo Dot now has remarkably good audio. I mean, it startles me. It used to be when the Dot came out that you'd never listen to much through that because you wouldn't want to experience that. But even our now our modern Dots, even those have a really good kind of even bass response and would sound good for most applications. But if you're wanting to listen to music or whatever, you would probably want to upgrade to something like a Tower. I personally use my Echo Show, especially my Show 8 and my Show 10. Listen to music on that all the time, and it sounds great. It's got a nice chamber for bass, and it's got a good response, and so it's really a nice product. And then if you really want to go for dedicated audio, not only do we have our Echo Studio, but I personally worked on sound bars, for example, from Sony. We have all the way up to high-end devices that there are devices you could buy that are driving music with Alexa that are $1,000 if you really wanted to spend that kind of money. But it really depends on what you're looking for in terms of the responsiveness. But Echo products themselves, that's how they break down.
Again, trying to stay away from getting 23 as I have multiples of all other, tech products. So I just need to listen to my football team basically lose. So that's just more audio. But the biggest question is when you're holding this product up, this is why I wanted to join, is to, are you able to then order that product, such as raisins or something? Are you holding it up and then putting it in some queue to order? That's the biggest question.
Stacy, do you want to talk about your experience with that?
Yeah, so I don't know if it does that on the show and tell. I do know in the Amazon app, there is a feature that you can tap on that says scan. And I never used it, but I've heard other people talk about it. You can scan something and then it will search for that product for you. So, but I personally have not used that. Do you know more about that, David?
Yeah, so the way that it would work, so it would be nice if there was a harder linkage. Right now, there's not a harder linkage. The preference of recognition does come for products that are in inventory. So what you would do is it would say, for example, when Stacy was giving that example, it said it recognized Nilla wafers and it told you what the product name was. What you could do is then if you have voice shopping enabled, which is an app setting you can do with a voice pin, or you can even do it without a pin if you want. You can then say, buy that product or add it to my shopping list. If you say it by name, you can't use it by pronoun as far as I'm aware, but if you say it by name, then you'll be able to buy that product. The cool thing is if it could recognize it and say, give me more of this in 3 weeks, right? That smoothness is not available, but you can, if you say, here's, it says, oh, I see a box of Nilla wafers. Say, oh, Alexa, buy Nilla wafers, and they'll say add it to your shopping cart if you have voice purchasing set up.
Okay.
I mean, outstanding job, and thank you for that. If we could, at some later date, maybe do a demo of that, as society suggests that everybody on this phone doesn't drive, and to simplify, that would be fantastic. To just hold up a product, and if we could demo or do something at a later date.
Yeah, I think Stacy, that sounds like we got some homework, huh?
Yep. Nope. We can definitely. Any of your guys' suggestion, please email it to us, and we can come up with other dates and times where we could do more demo. And we would love to do that.
Currently unmuted.
Okay, so we're gonna pause our questions here for a second. We have about 7 more people have questions. 2 of them are new and 5 of them are repeats. But I want to give Stacy a break here and let her continue with the rest of the presentation.
Patrice, did you have something you wanted to say?
Just so everyone knows, as David was talking about the shopping possibilities, I'm in my office, and my AA lady just asked me if I wanted to go shopping and what I needed. So it's amazing
Galaxy
that
Note 8 has left
word,
the meeting.
and when that cue comes up, it's so sensitive. So I just wanted to share that. Thanks.
Okay, so we don't have a whole lot of time left, and I wanted to give the panel time to talk about each of their experiences with the Amazon products that they use at their house, not necessarily just the show, but different things that we all use her with. And I'm going to start off with Ernie, and then we'll go to Bevy, and then we will go to Bob, and then I will end it. How does that sound?
Sounds good. Go ahead, Ernie.
Ernie?
Okay, well, thank you. I'm on my way to number 23. In my house, I've got 17. Every bedroom, every bathroom. And my wife was telling me, you need one in the garage, because when you're looking for me, you can drop into the garage and see if Joanne's there. But as I tell my wife, and she's around the corner in the kitchen, I've got 17 units because I've been sacrificing myself for my clients. Clients wants to know, how does this work? How does that work? And the only way you're going to find out is to buy one and try it. And then you can show up to the clients. At the San Jose office, I've already had 2 presentations about the show. And the first one, I did it when I first bought the show 10. And then the next one is when Sarah came over and did a demonstration. Sarah from Amazon came over and did a demonstration. But again, it's just, the only thing is, David, there's got to be a way that you can keep 5- and 7-year-olds from listening to you, because then they tell Alexa what to do. So, and the only thing I came up with is, you can be aware that you can change, you can give it 4 different names. When you buy it, it comes with the name Alexa, but you can change it to Echo, or you can change it to a computer, or I'm forgetting one. But and all you have to do, and I'm gonna say the word lightly, and I'm gonna spell the word. You would say, Alexa, change the WAKE word. And she'll say, okay, you have 4 choices. You know, you can name it Alexa, you can name it Echo, you can name it computer, or you can name it Amazon. And then you tell it, okay, I want to make it Amazon. And she says, okay, in a couple of minutes, you can use that name. And I've used that one, so the kids come over, because at their house, they got the Alexa name. So when they come to visit me and they use the Alexa name, it doesn't work in my house, because I've changed it to computer or Echo or Amazon or I forget the other one again. So be aware of that you can change the name. I know, dear, take it easy, so that you know what to do with it. That's all I got to add. Okay?
Thank you, Ernie. Bevy, did you?
Hi, my name is Bevy, and this is totally out of line, but hello to Noel and Debbie. I haven't heard your voices in years, and it's Beverly used to live on Dufour. Not there anymore, but anyways, hello. You know, I use my Echoes for so many different things. One of the things is that I'm close to one right here by my computer, and I use it for spelling a lot because I'm not known for my good spelling. You can ask it any question you could ever possibly think of, and it will tell you the answer of anything. I listen to the household, we all do, and in my room, I listen to radio a lot, and I have Pandora. it entertains my guide dog when I leave the house and don't take him with me. I use it as an alarm clock. Always, the time. The usage of it just goes on and on and on and on. There are just so many friendly, wonderful things that it can help with that I've never, ever been sorry that I had one, and have given them to family members for Christmas and so on. So if you don't have one and you're thinking about it, please do it, because you won't regret it. I think that's it.
Bevy, this is a little bit off of the Echo device, but I know you do a lot of shopping on Amazon. And could you just briefly talk about the personal shopper?
These guys, they just love to talk about my addiction of shopping. Anyways, just kidding. Yes, I do shop a lot on Amazon, and occasionally if I need help with finding something, say I want to look up different headphones and I want specific, and I don't, it's really hard sometimes to go through each and every one and what does it say, and I can't find where, what. So anyways, calling Amazon Accessibility really is helpful. They are wonderful. They answer right away. They're always very friendly. They've helped me in many, many ways, and gotten me in touch with different departments that I've needed to talk to and stuff. And they're hopefully it's all right to say this, they're equally as good as Apple Accessibility. And I have it on my phone book, on my iPhone, of call Amazon Accessibility. It's also very, very easy to use as an app. And it's very easy to search for things and to find things that you want. And the subscribe and save works really well, so that, if you have a particular thing that, like the toilet paper and the paper towels, that I get mine from Amazon, and they come on a, bi-monthly, or not a monthly basis or whatever. Bar soap, all that kinds of stuff I do shopping on Amazon. And yeah, since I've stuck at home, I do even a little bit more shopping on Amazon. So it's very, very accessible. And they also have a Amazon Smile program that you can choose different nonprofits and support different nonprofits with a small percentage of your income, or not your income, but what you're spending on Amazon, they will give to your choice of nonprofit. So they have a lot to offer for sure.
Okay, thank you for that, Stacy. Back to you.
Okay, now I'm unmuted. Do you want to talk about what you use it for, Bob?
Oh, I mostly use it for listening to music. I think that's the biggest thing that I use it for. But I actually have one out in my workshop, and when I'm out there, I'm not always a great whiz at math in my head, and so I can just ask Alexa to, or in my case, computer, to give me, the decimal equivalent of a fraction, or do it the other way around if I'm trying to do some measuring. That's been a really big help when I'm laying out woodworking projects, that sort of thing in the shop. So those are the two biggest things I use it for.
What about what we talked about the other day about the lights around the door and maybe using the smart plug?
Oh, yes. So I do have very, very little vision left. And so as many of us have experienced, we often walk into doorways or corners of walls and that sort of thing. So on Amazon, I bought these little LED lights. And so I have these string of LED lights that go around my hallway entrances or the doorways. And I manually have turned those on now, but now I'm going to buy one of the Alexa or Amazon smart plugs and plug that into the outlet, and then plug my lights into that. And then I can just tell my Echo device to turn on the doorway lights, and they'll all automatically come on. So I'm looking forward to getting that new switch in the mail.
Yeah, it's a pretty.
Sorry, but I'd like to come in with one more thing. Sorry for interrupting you.
Okay.
It's the Christmas tree. I have one. I bought one of those plugs a couple of years ago, and I used to have to practically stand on my head to get behind the tree to get to the plug, to try to feel the plug and the outlet and push it in and blah, blah, blah. And now all I do is ask her to turn on the Christmas tree, or turn on that particular, number one, that's what it's called, the number one outlet, and boom, my Christmas trees lights are on. So it's so helpful for that. And you can set it up for stuff that you have outside. I think it's helpful too I don't have it with the lights, but you know, especially if you live alone, it's helpful for the lights too, because I don't see the light anymore. And so I don't know if it's on or off. And there's so many ways that can work and benefit for blind people also. I also listen to Audible books on it. That's another one that wasn't mentioned, I don't think. So yeah, sorry, Stacy.
Okay.
And
Hey,
podcasts
Stacy,
are good too.
Zoom has new window.
You can
Sorry, this
ask.
is Patrice. I want to give a shout out for the microwave. I have an Alexa microwave, and she is my best friend. I love her, and she is quite helpful to me in the kitchen.
Go ahead, Bob.
I just mentioned that we have, it looks like 2 people who haven't had a chance to ask a question before, and I don't know if you want to take those or we're running short on time here.
Okay, I was just going to show a couple of things that I use, and I was going to do the microwave. So I'm in my kitchen, and I'm going to stand over by my microwave so you guys can hear how easy this is. So I put something in the microwave and I close the door, and then I just tell her, Alexa, turn on the microwave for 20 seconds on high.
Microwaving for 20 seconds on power level high.
So that's how easy it is to use the microwave. And that I'm using the show, which the show is in my kitchen. I have 7 devices. I have a show in my kitchen. I have a Dot in my garage. I have a Dot in my bedroom. I have the Cylinder Echo in my living room. I have a Fire TV, and I have a Fire tablet. And I love them all. And I'm even looking to get a air fryer that runs with the Alexa. But the drop-in capabilities of all of them are excellent. I also have a couple units at work, and I've occasionally been known to drop in on the cleaning people to make sure they're cleaning when I know that they're there. So that's kind of fun. The one thing about the Fire TV that I like using the Alexa on it is I can ask her to search for movies, and she will search on all the apps that are on my TV and tell me which app that movie is playing on. So that is really a fun tool. And also the other thing I wanted to mention is about the Alexa app itself. There's so many different things in that app that are helpful. The one thing about the app is you have to be patient. When you open it, it's not gonna just start running right away. It might be missing things. So you gotta open it, walk away from it for a couple minutes and come back, and it should have everything there. But you can create routines, and you can tell her good morning in the morning and set up a routine where she will tell you your emails, the weather, the news, the traffic, whatever routine that you give her, she will go through that whole routine. You could do it for any time of the day. You could even say good night, and maybe you have a smart plug that turns off the lamp and turns off certain things that you want. That could be part of your routine too. And like I've said in the past, we at Vista are here to help you go through those things, and we're willing to set up one-on-one trainings with you or do more presentations on some of these things. And that's what I wanted to say. So with that, Bob, I guess we can answer the rest of the questions.
Okay, it looks like Ray Wright was the next person who hasn't had a chance. So Ray, do you have a question?
Hello. I have a couple of comments and a question. First comment, there was a question earlier about when you get it out of the box, if you're totally blind, can you get it accessible? And I really like that feature. I might have missed it, but if you hold down the mic button for, I don't know, 5 or 6 seconds until it makes a tone, then take your 2 fingers and put it on the screen for about 5 or 10 seconds, it turns on voice view. So that's a really nice feature that you don't have to get somebody sighted to help you set it up or anything. And then you can just walk through it once the voice view screen reader's on. So I appreciate that. The question I have is, you said you can watch movies on your show. I have a show 5. Are you able to turn on the descriptive track using the show 5 so I could hear the Amazon programming in descriptive? Anyone know?
Good question.
David?
I actually don't know the answer to that question. I would have to guess. I mean, I don't want to guess. So Stacy, I don't know if you've ever tried that.
I have not, and I know Ernie. Was somebody asked you that question, or did you check that feature out?
I was trying to do it myself, and like on the Fire TV, you can go in and going through settings and accessibility and voice view and all that, and it works great to find it. But I was thinking it might be the same thing on the show, but it's not there that I could find. So I didn't know if that was available, and if not, maybe that's something that could be in a future update. And then also on the show 10, with the button that turns off the camera, I don't believe it turns off the camera, but if it does, maybe like in a software upgrade, maybe it could say like microphone muted, camera off, instead of just muted. So that way you get reassurance that the camera is turned off if that does happen. So I think the Amazon products are great, and I hope with the show that maybe down the road we could put in maybe like a color identifier and something like that would be really helpful as well. So thank you. That's what I have to say.
The next person who hasn't had a chance is Erica. Mute yourself. Erica, do you have a question? Erica, do you have a question? You'll need to unmute yourself. On a phone, that's *6.
Bob, your volume is low.
Your volume dropped quite a bit.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I moved the microphone. Erica, you're next. Do you have a question? You'll need to unmute yourself, Erica. Okay, Erica, if you figure out you're unmuting, then you can just jump in whenever you want. And then I think we've got time for one last question here. We're running over just a little bit. And so it looks like...
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. I'm new to all of this. I'm in Oakland, California. I've been going to the Lighthouse for the Blind. I'm like overwhelmed to see all this technology that they have out there. I have the Alexa microwave and I like that, but I don't have the Echo and all that. Is it a possibility that I can get a list of all of the Alexas that you guys are talking about, like the Dot and the Show? It seems like I would like, and then for the Show, is it portable if I go to the grocery store and I hold it out? Would it tell me?
No,
No. Oh,
no,
okay.
it's a bigger unit that sits on the counter and it needs to be plugged into power for it to work.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm new to all of this, but I'm liking, I think I might want to get some of the Echoes.
Yeah, well, we're more than happy to offline to help you figure all that out and give you more information if you need it.
Okay.
And let me just say for all, thank you, Erica, appreciate that. For the other folks who have follow-up questions or I can't tell if there's one person here who we haven't gotten to, but if you want to email those questions to me, I'll pass those on to Stacy and David, and I'm sure one of the two of them, and Ernie, I'll send it to Ernie too, and I'm sure one of them will be able to get back to you and help answer your question. But we're...
Bob Farhangia, just a question. What is the number for Amazon accessibility?
Bevy, do you got that?
We can email it out.
I'm trying to find it on my iPhone real quick.
We'll
Yeah,
give...
That would be great. I was going to ask that too. Thank you. So email would be wonderful. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, great. We'll do it that way. Sorry, guys, I couldn't get it fast enough.
Okay.
That's fine. That's fine. Thank you.
All
Well,
right,
you guys.
Stacey, do you have anything else?
Yeah, I just wanted to tell everybody thank you for coming and participating today. We hope in the future months to come in the fall and winter that we bring you exciting stuff. I also wanted to remind everybody that Ernie's Apple Pie is on the 21st of this month, which is the third Friday, and it will be Ask Ernie. And look for our newsletter and upcoming emails on what we are going to present for the first Friday in September, which is Tech It Out with Vista.
And everybody who everyone who emailed me to be on this list, I'll be sure to email you the notices for the next meeting as well. So thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Ernie, Bevy, Patrice, and especially David. We really appreciate you taking the time to come on and educate us about Amazon products and particularly the Echo Show.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, David. Can you make this session 2 hours?
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for...
Thank you, everyone. Thanks so much.
Thank you, guys. Very nice session.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Very good. Very good. Hello, Noel and Debbie. Ken here.
Alrighty. Thank you, everybody. And again, I'll email you out the link to the video for this show if you need it.
Oh, thank you. That's so wonderful. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob, for all your hard work on this.
Yeah, Bob, you did a great job, Bob.
Thank you.
Yep. Very good job. Oh,
Yeah.
looking forward to many
Hi
more.
to Bev, hi to Ken.
What?
Hi to Ken, hi to Bev, or Bevy.
Hey.
I know. Golly, it's been a long time.
I had one thing to end with. That is that I think the Echo Show should mute by putting a picture of a monkey on the screen with a hand or paw over the mouth and one over the eyes. And it says, "See no evil, hear no evil."
I like that.
You know, the Joker, I see.
This was a great
Good
program. Thank you.
Good idea. Have a good day. Have a good weekend. Goodbye.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Bob. Thanks for putting it on.
Certainly.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye, Frank.
Bye, John. Hope you
Meeting.
enjoyed the session, John.
Thank you.
John, I'll call you later.
Hello, this is Ray Wright again. I got a question about Vista Center.
Go ahead, Ray. I'm still here.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I wasn't sure. Is Pam Brandon still the director?
No.
No. Okay.
No. Patrice, are you still on here? I am terribly embarrassed to say I don't know. It's Corray is her first name.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was on the board of directors for Vista Center back when we actually did the rebranding from Peninsula Center for the blind to Vista Center, and came up with that name. And it's exciting to hear that you've got another location now too. So that was back in 2006 or 7, something like that. When it changed.
This is Lisa Kwan. I'm the manager at the San Jose branch, and so your question about Pam, yeah, she left right at the when we merged. Santa Clara Valley Blind Center merged with Vista Center, and right at that merger time, she'd been running Vista Center for many years.
Forever, yeah.
Right? So yeah, I think she wanted to spend more time with family and kind of prioritize, and it was her time. Nice way to close. So she's moved and out of California, and Cray Lyle is our executive director, who has done a bang up job of helping us really just pivot and be able to offer these types of sessions. And
yeah, no, it's awesome. I used to, well, of course, lived in LA, and then moved up to Redwood City, and Alec Karp, I don't know if you know him, he was my O&M instructor from Peninsula Center or Vista Center, and so I was excited to see the email that you guys were doing this, and I just got the shows and that. And Bob, we need to talk about woodshop, because that I'm actually the woodshop instructor here at the Division of Services for the Blind in Salt Lake City now.
Oh, great. Yeah, I got connected back with woodworking actually through Vista. They connected me to Lighthouse for the Blind and the Enchanted Hills Camp, and I went up there and took a week-long woodworking class for the blind. And
how long ago was that? Is that when George Wurtzel was there?
Yeah, George Wurtzel was the instructor. So that was like 2 years ago.
Okay, I was up there twice. Was it 2 years ago or 3 years ago? No, it was 2 years ago. I was up there for a week, but I may have been in the advanced section, because they split it up. If it's what I'm thinking of.
Yes.
Are you familiar with the Woodworking for the Blind group?
Yes. In fact, I was just going to say, now I recognize your name from the from the email list on Woodworking for the Blind. So yeah, I stay on that every day.
Okay, cool. Well, it's good to put a voice with the name and that. So it's
yeah,
awesome.
it's good to finally hear your voice too.
Do you know if they're still doing wood shop at the Orientation Center for the Blind?
I do not know. I'm not
Yeah,
familiar.
I know the teacher left, and I don't know if they hired somebody to replace them. But anyway, it's kind of, I don't know, just hearing this was sort of like old home.
Yeah, there were a lot of folks on here that were good to catch up on.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't mean to take your time.
That's okay. I appreciate talking to you.
it. And if it's possible to get on your email list or something, just your newsletter, it's always interesting.
Sure, I'll make it.
Going on.
I'll try to remember to make a note for you, but if you could just drop me an email back from the meeting invite that I sent you, that way I won't forget to add you onto the newsletter list.
Okay, I'll go ahead and do that. Well, it's good talking to you, and hopefully we'll be in touch more with either woodworking or I like your things that you did, and I hope I wasn't asking too many questions. But
No. I was looking forward to going back to Tennessee to George Wurzel's new shop that he has there. He was going to open up a class for this August, but because of COVID, that's now not happening. So,
well, I was planning on going up to Calgary for the woodworking for the blind get together. That's always a lot of fun. But,
yeah, I was looking at that one too.
Yeah, so who knows what next? I guess next year, whatever that will bring, because I maybe it'll be at George's place or yeah, it would be interesting to see his new shop and that, or it would. It's always fun to actually be together and exchange ideas and see what other people are doing in that in person, and that's why this virtual stuff is good, but you know, it's nothing like being in person and hands-on and
I agree.
all that kind of stuff. Our students actually are out. We've been doing Zoom meetings every day. In fact, I came in a little bit late because I was on a Zoom meeting with the student. But we are hoping to get back on this 8th of September is the plan now. So we'll be a limited fashion working in person with students again. So hopefully that'll come about. But we were slated for the 17th, and then they just postponed it to the 8th. So who knows?
Yeah, I hope you're able to open up. That'd be great.
Yeah. But
well, it's good talking to you, Ray. Thank you for joining in. I appreciate it.
You too, Bob. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you later. Okay.
Okay. Bye, Ray.
Bye-bye.
Michael Moore, I see you. Michael, I see you're on there. Did you have anything to add?
Bob,
Hello, Bob.
I'll say you may want to stop the recording.
Oh, thank you.
Bob and Lisa, I hope you'll be sending today's recording to all of us. I'm Farhang calling.